What's up, everybody? My name is Koen Heldens. I'm an international multi-diamond mixing engineer, and we're at Morplay Studios in Miami. I'm going to show you guys the brand new Plugin Alliance AMEK 250 plugin. You guys ready? Let's jump in. So this is the brand new Plugin Alliance AMEK EQ 250. It's based and emulated of one of the very first parametric EQs. And it's one EQ that is heard on countless hit records. And you can still find it nowadays in the higher end recording studios, mastering houses, and it's such a pleasure to be able to have this within our DAW. It's very known for its really rich high end, as well as its very tight and big low end. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna play you the song Kelvyn Colt Into the Lights. I have it on the master bus. I'll play it with the EQ in, then I'll play a snippet with the EQ out, and again with the EQ in so you can hear the difference. And then I'll go over the features of the plugin itself. So let's jump in. So as you could hear, with the EQ bypassed, the whole mix became a bit less lively, less expensive sounding. And then once I activated it again, you could hear how much more live and expansiveness came through the entire record. So I usually do that on the master bus by small little movements, as you can see on the plugin. So on the AMEK 250, I boosted a little bit around 100 Hertz just to get a little bit more punch out of the record. I also like to bring up a little bit of the mid-range, so it's more urgency, more in your face. I did that with a broad Q value around 3.5 kilohertz, again with a slight movement, and then of course more richness to the song, so more expensive sounding high end, which I did on the AMEK 252. And what I did is I used a shelf at around 10 kilohertz, also with a slight dB boost, so it's like more natural instead of changing the entire sound of the record. Other things I always do on a master bus, I roll off a little tiny bit of the low end, so I don't have too much rumble happening on the record itself. That won't translate nice on other speakers, as well as build up too much low end for, your compressor or limiter on the master to react a little bit too much that we don't want to have. So that's perfect with the AMEK EQ 252. It has very, very clean filters. So I rolled off a little bit around 20 Hertz on there. The AMEK EQ 250 has 12 dB per octave, low pass and high pass filters. Great for cleaning up any sound within the mix or your actual mix itself. Other great things on the EQ as well are switchable low shelf and high shelf EQs. These are great for expensive high end, or if you want to hone in and make a tighter and bigger low end. On that same part, we have switchable dB features, which basically means we can go very surgical and only have a range of 6 dB, or if we want to do bigger boosts or cuts, usually that happens within the mix, we can switch it to 12, which is great because then we can literally hone in, make a sound, and change it a lot, versus on the master where you would use a much shorter range of cutting and boosting where we can go more surgical. The other things I like on this plugin too is I like to keep my low-end mono, because we know majority of systems that we play back on, it's either a 2.1 or a bigger system, or it's playing back in the club. We want to have that low-end mono. So at around 60 to 90 hertz, I always make sure that below there, my entire signal is mono. So the mono maker on the plugin is perfect for this as well. I also like to add a little bit more width to the record so that whatever elements are playing in the record, everything has a bit more space. So I spread it out a tiny bit. Stereo width on this plugin is amazing. So I added a little bit to it so things have more space to breathe. So let me play you an example of the song where I will change the values of the stereo width so you can hear what it actually does on an overall mix. So here we go. So as you could hear, you can make your entire mix or whatever signal you're running through the EQ either mono, keep it stereo, or of course go extremely wide with it with a width of 200%. Moving on to mid-side processing. So we just looked at stereo width over the overall signal, but mid-side processing allows us to take specific frequencies and either EQ them in the mid-channel or the sides. So a cool trick is to boost the high end that on the sides that makes the mix wider. And then we can also control more of the lead vocal within the mix by using some of the mid EQ. Let me play an example and boost the high end on the sides so you can hear how much wider the mix gets. And then I'll boost some of the frequencies in the mid channel so you can hear how the vocal comes more forward. And now let me play you an example of boosting the mid channel so we can hear the lead vocal pop more to the forefront. As you can hear, MS could be a great weapon of choice if you want to widen the stereo field of any instrument or the entire mix by using and manipulating the sides, or if you have anything in the center channel that is a little bit too ducked within the mix and you don't have full control over the mix, the mid channel is your friend. Or even individual elements where you're like, oh, I want to be a little bit more creative, want to create more width, or I just want to bring out some of the mid channel, MS processing is your friend. Okay guys, that's the AMEK 250 walkthrough video. I hope you learned a thing or two. It's available today in a Mega Bundle subscription, or you can download the 14-day trial and test it out yourself. Hope to see you guys in the next video.